Happy Monday morning, guys. I wanted to share a little bit of my Devo with you guys today. This is a thing that I'm going to want to start to do for the month of February and, potentially into the future as my discipline. I just really want to start getting into scripture more on a personal level, connect with God and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes whenever I go through my Devo, it'll be like a specific challenge that I feel like God's given me, and I'd like to share that with you and invite you guys to join in with that challenge. But also, if you guys want to start shooting your own videos on your own Devos and stuff like that, I'm going to be posting these on our Facebook page, and also on the website we have a blog page for our youth group, and so I'd like to start posting these on that as well. But and then also, feel free to go ahead and put the comments underneath and just share your thoughts and ideas on different things. But for today's Devo, what stood out to me wasn't necessarily a challenge, but it was more of something that just was intriguing me in scripture. So I've been reading through 1 Samuel, and today I read through 1 Samuel 9 through 11. And whenever you do your Devos, whenever you're reading scripture, there might be some times whenever you'll see something that seems like a apparent contradiction, and whenever I see those, it just gets my attention. I just want to read into it more and just do a little bit of research. Okay, so why is it worded this way? Is this a contradiction? Is it not a contradiction? I mean, we know scripture is not supposed to contradict itself. So, how should I understand this, though? What is the text actually saying? What is the author saying here? And so in 1 Samuel 9 verse 1, we see that it starts off saying that there was a wealthy, influential man named Kish from the tribe of Benjamin. He was the son of Abiel, son of Zeror, a lot of different stuff, names, cool stuff. And then it goes on and says, his son Saul was the most handsome man in Israel, head and shoulders taller than anyone else in the land. So we see that, and then we fast forward. Saul, he ends up meeting Samuel. Samuel tells Saul that he's going to be the focus all of Israel's hopes. And Saul, his reply is, basically, why are you talking to me like this? I'm only from the tribe of Benjamin, which is the smallest tribe in Israel, and my family is the least important of all the families of that tribe. And so that's where the apparent contradiction seems to be at. In verse 1 it says that their family was an influential family, which would make you think they're a wealthy family or something like that. But then Saul's reply is, we're the least of all of them. So how does that work out? So I read through several different commentaries. Some of the commentaries basically depict it as Saul, his family was a family of great valor. They were a family of great power. And I could see that being a possible translation of that. But it didn't quite make sense to me, because then as you continue reading into chapter 10, you'll see that Saul, after being told by Samuel that he's going to be the focus of the hopes of Israel, and that the plan was for him to be anointed as the king, for him to be the king, Saul goes back to his family. He continues living life. He doesn't tell his uncle that that Samuel gave him that prophecy, and so he avoids telling them that he's supposed to be king, which that's kind of odd. You would think that if somebody told you, a prophet came and told you, hey, you will be king, you'd think you would want to go and tell your relatives about it. But Saul didn't want to do that. And then we see that it comes the time when Samuel calls all the families from the tribe of Benjamin forward, and he calls Saul to come forward, and he's going to anoint Saul as king in front of everyone to make it public. And then Saul's gone. He's not there. They can't find him. And where is Saul at? Well, you find out in verse 23 that he was hiding in the baggage. He was hiding from everybody. So in my mind, that doesn't strike me as he is a man of valor, a person of valor. Like, he is hiding from becoming the king. So it just made me think about it and like, okay, so what is this talking about? How do we reconcile the contradiction and stuff? It could have been that Saul was just being modest in his response to Samuel. Maybe he was trying to pass it off and like kind of like, you know, deter Samuel from wanting to make him king and stuff, being like, hey, you know, we're not really that big of a family, you know, maybe this isn't the right idea. I don't know, maybe that was it. But that was just something that I thought was intriguing that I wanted to share with you guys. The one thing that it does seem like that stands out to me is that Saul, even though he was a person who was like head and shoulders taller than everyone else, he was the handsome guy, the guy who you would think would be like that, the popular kind of guy, the one that people would look up to, and the one that would have all this confidence in himself. It seems to me from scripture that in spite of his appearances, he still had internal struggles that he was fighting against, though. He still had some confidence issues, let's put it that way. You know, he didn't feel confident in his ability to be king. That's what seems to be apparent to me. He didn't feel like he was worthy of being a king, and so he hid from it. And so I guess whenever thinking about how does this apply to us in our lives, it's learning to trust God even if we don't feel confident in ourselves, even if we don't feel worthy in ourselves to something we believe God might be calling us towards. What we need to do is we need to trust God and trust that if he's called us to do something or to be something, then he's given us the ability to do it as well. He doesn't send us on missions that are suicide missions, so to say. You know, he gives us the abilities to accomplish the things that he calls us forward to do. And so regardless of those feelings that we might battle inside, we need to learn to trust God more than we trust our own feelings. So that was just a little devo that I had for this morning. Again, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that God can speak to you through it, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Go ahead and put it in the comments section. And also, if you feel like starting to shoot some videos yourself, you feel like that's something God might be calling you to do, have at it, you know. Trust him and be ready to see how he grows you through it. So, have a happy Monday, everyone.